Closed practice today at House Hall, but we were there. We're going to tell you everything that happened and what was sort of kind of an important practice considering they didn't play in the preseason game, at least the starters, Caleb and company. We're going to recap it all for you, get into the quarterback tiers that came out today. CHGO Bears starts right now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast, another training camp edition. CHGO training camp coverage powered by Circa Sports Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome in Adam Hoge and the birthday boy, Mark Carman. It is your birthday. You look so confused. Yes, it is your birthday. It actually is your birthday.
I am looking at it. Thank you, Adam. I'm very, very pleased. There's no place I'd rather be than with you on my birthday. But apparently I spelled something. Oh yeah. No, I spelled something wrong in the tweet. I can't do the show when I make mistakes like this. And so now we are ready.
See, here's what we're gonna do. I mean, everybody has New Year's resolution. This is gonna be your year 52 now.
Yes, Khalil Mack, right freaking here, Hogue.
Yeah,
that's right.
This is your resolution. We're gonna under 52 tweets, Twitter typos in the year 52 for Mark Carman. I think you can do it.
I think I can. We're gonna count that as number one. So I've got 51 left. Because I'm this is a high accountability year, man. We're not skirting anything. So thank you for that, for setting a nice, solid, I think an easy bar, but yet something to pay attention to for me in year 5 too. So thank you, and thanks you honestly to everybody who has sent me happy birthdays around the Discord and everyone around CHGO, Crystal, super nice Twitter and everything else that she did for me today. So I appreciate all of it. It's been a great day, and let's talk Bears, baby. Let's go. And huge softball game tonight. Playoffs starting. Hogue in the missing Hogue formation, but Joey Christopoulos making his debut today. So we're excited to have Joey.
Wow, that's big. Full-time Joey.
Yeah.
Gets upgraded to the softball team. That's huge. Look, Carm spent his birthday exactly where he wanted to be. He wanted to be nowhere else than Hallis Hall for
I did.
glorious practice. I like the background too, Carm. The wallpaper matches your age.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you to the Raid app. I did buy a home here, and this you haven't been over yet, Hogue, but you'll be coming soon.
Haven't been invited.
Yeah, that's not true. You have been invited. I've definitely invited you, and I think I have. Okay, maybe I haven't. If I haven't, that's on me. But yeah, we haven't upgraded everything here. This is a work in progress. This fine thing, and thank God last night a tree didn't fall on it because they fell everywhere else around here. I don't know if people coming back home last night, this neighborhood, we didn't have power. It felt like almost like the Bears offense at training camp today, which was super ugly. But hey, we can talk about that, and we can talk about yesterday, and I'm excited to talk about Declan Doyle too and what he had to say about the left tackle comp and a little Kyle Monungai.
Well, let's jump in. Best and worst. By the way, this is show number 2 of 3 Bear shows today. Hoge and Johns earlier, brand new episode of Hoge and Johns. We went through 10 key players, what they did in the preseason game yesterday. If you missed our post-game show yesterday, make sure you go back and listen to it. That's in your podcast feed or on the YouTube channel. And then we're recapping practice now, and we got Bears After Dark coming up here at 7 o'clock. We're running right into Brags After Dark. So that's we will be off right at 7 so that Greg can take over. And we should start the show with Crystal Super Chat for $10. Happy birthday, Carm. Drink your water to prepare for later. Softball tonight. Love you bunches, Carm.
as I said on Twitter, this community has given me, so much joy since, I guess we're going into year 4 together here, Hogue. And so many of you have supported Derek Jewett. You're the man with, who knew that we were going to be NASCAR friendly? This has all happened for you. But Crystal, you are the GOAT. You have supported me in a million different ways. Softball field, coming to Northwestern games, every single tailgate, every single show. You truly are, for all of us here. I think I could speak for all of us. It's an enormous blessing having you. So thank you for the super chat as well.
All right. Well, the best of the day is that it's Carm's birthday, but in terms of the best of what happened at Hallis Hall, I was actually impressed with the practice, like not the execution, but what Ben Johnson actually had dialed up. I didn't know what to expect. It certainly started pretty light. There weren't pads on, but if you actually looked at the numbers out there, there were, I counted 34 total players, 19 on offense, 15 on defense. They didn't really allow you for too many substitutions. Obviously, you're going mostly starters on starters. There were a few exceptions here and there, like a Northwestern's very own Thomas Gordon was practicing today. So there were a couple, like I think Sean Wade was out there with the defense too. There were a couple exceptions. It was all based on the reps in the game yesterday. But essentially, if you were under 15 reps or you didn't play, there was a good chance you were practicing today. And then because there weren't breaks for if you think about a practice, if you're with the starters, when the 2s and 3s go out there, you're off to the side. You're not rigorously practicing. So they had to kind of build in more water breaks today because you go in your normal, like, here's the first team. Now we take a water break because the next reps are also the first team. So it was a lot of good on good in terms of the key players, the players that you wanted to see out there. Obviously wasn't pads, but they got a good amount of reps in a 70-minute practice. So I was impressed with just the work that was done. I was impressed that Declan Doyle brought up the reasoning behind it. He didn't bring it up. I asked him, but he said Sean Payton would do this all the time, that they would always practice after preseason games. And apparently this goes back to Bill Parcells, according to Declan Doyle. So again, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it on whether the starter should have played, I like that there's reasoning behind it. I like that there's, not to quote Matt Nagy, but a why for why they handled this the way they did. I think we can get into how it all looked, and maybe if it was still the right call, maybe it'll switch next week based on what we saw today. But that was at least my best. Now, the worst is kind of that. Wasn't great. There were a lot of balls on the ground today. There were a lot of misconnections. I don't think Caleb's accuracy was very good today. There was a number of questionable. I wrote down in my notes, drop ? Because it hit the receiver in the hands, but it wasn't a great throw at the same time. So there was a moment where he got yelled at by Ben Johnson for not hitting the check down, and then everything was sort of delayed, and then they didn't get the snap off, and Caleb was mad at that point. Then they had a long talk during the water break, Ben Johnson and Caleb. It was a disjointed practice offensively, and way too many drops. Accuracy wasn't good enough. So when it's all said and done, I don't know that Ben Johnson's going to bed tonight thinking like 100% convinced that was the right way to handle the whole weekend.
Yeah. I do wonder where Ben's at, and it'll be very interesting. I think everybody's wondering, is Caleb and are the ones going to play Sunday night versus Buffalo after practicing against the Bills on Friday? And I'm sure if you polled the fan base right now, I'm thinking 95% would want to see him play. But for me, Hogue, on my best today, I just, it's hard to find a best, at least it was for me. I went with it was a shorter practice because hey, because
it's your birthday and it was shorter.
It was hot out there. Y'all look like you're very disinterested. It's a day after a game. Some of you played. Braxton Jones was out there as left tackle number 1 today. He's practicing it. He played yesterday. So some guys, I just look maybe a little gassed. Some guys just look disinterested. Everybody, I guess, got a workout yesterday with the 8 a.m. thing that Ben did. So they kept it to 70 minutes, and there was a lot of action in it, but at least it didn't, the Bears have been up to 2 hours. So this was a little bit shorter. That's my best. My worst on the day was just intensity level whatever you want to call it, they just looked disinterested. It was, the execution was horrible. Caleb's, I don't have an exact number on what percentage he completed today, but it was definitely under 50. It might have been under 33%, at least in 7-on-7s and 2-on-2. I mean, it was, balls were flying all over the place. So it was like, I would call it actually stunningly bad, because they haven't had a practice like this in a long time. The deep ball didn't look great. You mentioned that one of them where he threw the ball, significantly out of bounds down the right sideline, and it came out like a wounded duck that didn't even look like it got tipped. I don't know what happened on that play, and that's when Ben was yelling at him to take the check down. So they just weren't great today. As we've said a zillion times on the pod, not the end of the world, but we are going to tell you what it was, and it wasn't good. It was and it was bad. There was a lot of drop balls today too. So just not a great day out there. Get the day off tomorrow. Get ready for Buffalo, and it'll be interesting to see how Ben goes about the rest of the week.
Yeah. Look, just to give you an idea, it was a little weird to go out there and not see the full team out there. I guess it's no different than yesterday, how a lot of players played and a lot of players didn't play, and today was just the reverse, right? But they were going through individual drills, and there were 2 safeties in the safeties area. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a little bit of a jarring, not in a bad way, just different. And so we're going to get a little bit into who practiced, what they were trying to accomplish, and all that. DJ Moore, though, spoke after practice, and DJ had an interesting practice to me because, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got him targeted 5 times, with one of those being a completion, and 3 of them, I think, fall in the category of, do you call it a drop or do you criticize the throw for not being there? And the answer could be both. Like, they actually wasn't great, but you want your number 1 wide receiver to make the play at the same time. So I was interested to see how DJ would be after the game. He was asked, though, about not playing in the preseason, or if he wanted to play in the preseason. So here's his answer to that question, along with a little insight on what's going on with him and Ben Johnson in the offense.
I leave that up to the coaches and GM and Mr. George.
DJ, what do you like about how detailed that is as a coach?
What do I like about it? It's going to get us where we want to go. What's hard about it is that you really got to be in your playbook and know every last detail of that playbook, because like he do, if not, you're going to get either the evil eye, or you're just going to get yelled at to get in the right spot. So I try to stay away from that.
Yeah. Like to stay away from the evil eye. Kind of like how you have to avoid my evil eye.
Yeah, and I'm getting less and less skilled at doing that. I got to work up my game here. But look, I don't want to. It's my birthday. I don't want to anger you Bears fans, but the whole DJ's sort of easygoing personality, that's him. I get it, but like, they just had a bad practice today. And hey, how was it out there? It was great. We did what we had to do. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Can we get just a little bit of, I don't know, honesty or whatever? But maybe he just thinks that hey, he's not freaking out on a Monday or whatever. But he's just so easygoing. And I asked him the question, like, do you want to play? And Caleb said he didn't want to play, and he's just not. I get it. Like, you don't want to get in something with DJ told the media that he wants to play, and then all of that. I understand it, but there's part of me that's thirsting to find out, like, the real DJ, where he's actually at on things, because I think he hides it very well.
Yeah, I think that was fair today, because he was very optimistic about things overall, and that was not the greatest practice, especially for him. I mentioned, like, 1 catch on 5 targets is what I got. It was interesting, though. He got asked why he trusts Ben Johnson. He said, quote, the way his attitude is. I mean, he can get mad and then start smiling at the same time. It's kind of creepy because you don't know if he's serious or if he's joking. So you just have to take everything he says serious and go from there. And the follow-up was, well, how blunt is Ben? And he said, real blunt. Sometimes it's like you have to be a man about it and not just tuck your tail You just have to take the coaching. I thought that was a real answer, a real honest answer. And like, I kind of sensed a little bit of, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I kind of sensed a little bit of like pushback to the idea of like how hard he's coaching, but also an acknowledgement that you got to take it. You got to be a man about it. I appreciated his answer too about him being asked to play running back. I don't know if it came off as like overly thrilled, but he's like, I get paid a lot of money. I get paid the big bucks is how he put it.
Yep.
They want me to do that. I'm going to go do that. Yeah.
And bottom line, when that guy has the ball in his hands, good things happen for the Bears. So he's got to be exhausted somewhere in his DJ Moore football bones of however many years it was in Carolina. Was it 5 years with the Panthers? And now he's in year 3 here in Chicago. And I mean, we're still dreaming of sniffing the playoffs here. At some point, that's got to take a toll on you. So hopefully that guy can start to experience some winning here.
All right, before practice, we got a chance to talk to offensive coordinator Declan Doyle. We got some of that sound to bring to you after the break. And then we're also going to get into Mike Sando's yearly quarterback tiers that came out this morning on The Athletic. Definitely some interesting insight that we got to share with you on Caleb Williams and discuss. But first, hey, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers right now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. That's key, win or lose. Sign up, use the code CHGO365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5. You'll get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. And this is key with baseball going on here. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up 5 runs. At any point, you get an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app, use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Again, breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use that code CHGO365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5. Get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Man,
only.
In-app only, indeed. Man, oh man, is it hot out there today, and that's why you need our friends at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving the Chicagoland community for over 50 years, and now is the time. It's not too late to get your air conditioning checked out. Four Seasons experts ready to help you with AC installation, maintenance, and repair. Hey, who knows when it's going to cool down here? Get that done. Schedule yourself a Four Seasons AC tune-up today. You can save $50 and enjoy a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee. You can save $4,000 on new comfort systems, new AC units, $39, or thinking about that winter AC furnace combos, $57 a month. Plumbing, electric, heating, cooling. Call 866-4Seasons. Your local trusted experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com.
All right. A couple more updates from practice today before we get into some of the sound from Declan Doyle. Was encouraging. We did see Karan Amagaji and Doug Kramer out there. They weren't out there the whole time, but they were out there. So that was encouraging.
Yeah, I'm rooting for 72, and it was good to see him out there stretching around. He was hanging out next to Braxton Jones, getting loose, so that was good to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other ones that are notable. Like, so Tyreek Stevenson played in the game yesterday, so did Nashawn Wright. They were both out there at practice today. The reps yesterday weren't grueling. I like what Declan Doyle had to say, too. This is not one of the cuts we have, so I'll just share it with you. Let's see, where did that go here? I got it. He said there's actually this misnomer that you're playing in the game, and there's really physical wear and tear for all of them. Well, a lot of them took limited reps. So the guys that were under, let's say, 15 to 20 reps, really, they can still go out there today and still have a good day. So really, it's geared more to those starters that didn't play in the game yesterday, trying to give them this game-like feel. But there were another number of players that played in the game. Deion Hankins was out there today. But yeah, it's kind of all based on the reps. I'm trying to see anybody else notable.
that's a great point by you, though, as far as figuring out the reps. The hanky-panky was running all over the place yesterday in the fourth quarter. He was out there today practicing. Same thing with Braxton Jones. So I don't exactly know how they figured out. Tyson wasn't playing. Case Keenum wasn't out there. They had, I'm sure, maybe they were doing a film day or whatever they were doing in the backgrounds. Maybe they're just getting treatment. I don't know. But they weren't on the practice field.
So Hankins played 20 reps. So, I mean, maybe that's the cutoff. Although on the other end, Durham Smythe played 18 reps and he was not out there practice day. So who knows? They
could be a youth thing.
Yeah. Duvernay, 14 reps in the game. He was practicing today. Also probably a necessity. I mean, they got to be able to run plays. So, they probably needed Duvernay to run routes today and be, so that they could run the plays that they need to run. You need bodies.
Yeah. Also, the Duvernay's got to, let's get the Duvernay fully Duvernayed here and get him comfortable, because the Bears are going to need the Duvernay. He hasn't had, I wouldn't say an elite camp to this point. So good to have him out there. Way to go, Duvernay. You can grind.
All right, let's get to some of this Declan Doyle stuff. We'll start, since we were talking mostly about Caleb in the first segment, where things stand with Caleb Williams as the Bears' offensive coordinator on the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that so the joint practice, I think he did a good job of being competitive. He's continuing to evolve as a processor and things like that, dealing with a pretty large variety of defense. They're kind of stemmed from that Baltimore tree, and that's one that, provides a lot of different looks, different than what he gets from our defense all the time. And so I thought that was really good to see him go out and process that. Pre-game, we went out with the guys that didn't play in the game and went through kind of an extensive workout. And I thought that was really good, just because a lot of times those guys go to the game and they're kind of just hanging out. But they were able to get a lot of quality work in, a lot of quality reps, just working through that mental side of the game, as well as the physical part with some of the route detail and things that we're coaching up. But I've seen him just continue to progress.
This one, I don't want to keep harping on this, Carm, but I do want to just bring this up because I do think it's important. Again, if you think that starter should have played in the game, I totally with you. You have an argument. I'm not really totally pushing up against it. All I've been trying to get across is exactly what Declan Doyle just said there. A lot of times, and I would say most of the time I've covered this team, even with the joint practice Friday, Saturday is a walkthrough day. There's no practice. There's meetings. Sunday game comes. Starters don't play. Monday is like a recovery day. You come in for treatment, but oh, by the way, those starters didn't even play, so they don't really need much treatment. Maybe you have some meetings, and then you practice. You probably come back to practice on Tuesday. So I do appreciate debating Ben Johnson's decision on whether starters should have played. The fact is that they had that joint practice Friday. It is 70. I think Brad Biggs said it was 87 play workout before the game, which was on air. I'm not debating it's a completely different from the game. I get it, but it is 87 reps. 87 reps at getting in the line of scrimmage, calling what you need to call, get the snap off, throw the ball, hopefully accurately and all that. And then they come back today and they was not a full practice, but still a pretty full practice for 70 minutes. They squeezed in a lot. So there's no debating to me, at least, that Ben Johnson's fulfilled what he said on Hoge and Johns when he revealed this whole plan on Friday's episode, that they were going to get more reps out of it. You want to debate the quality of the reps. You want to say they should play in the preseason. I get it. But I do like that it wasn't just like, hey, these guys are basically off for the weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.
So, okay. And we've underlined this a bunch. And Biggs did say 87 plays. He got there at 8 a.m. and Brad Biggs, shout out Brad Biggs for charting all 87 plays with his coffee on a Sunday morning before the Bears face the Dolphins. Because it truthfully is probably one of the most interesting things that happened on the day, outside of the amazing play by Tyson Bagent. We can talk about that in the fourth Bears pod today that I'll be doing at 9:00 tonight. But regardless of that, look, for me, Hoge, we're getting to a place. Are you excited more so now if it's possible, than when the Bears actually hired Ben Johnson. Now that you've seen how Ben Johnson is running a training camp, now that you've seen Ben Johnson when his defense in a preseason game against the Dolphins gets a goal line stop and he's out there bowing up like he just got out of the gym and he's all hyped up in a preseason game. The way he talked about it afterwards, 24-24. Nobody in our locker room is real thrilled, even though it's preseason. You want to win the game, and it's all that type of stuff. The going for it on fourth down. I get it that it's again, preseason, it's a little easier to do, but they could have kicked the field goal. But instead, Ben was like adamant that they showed him on the sidelines when he was, all barking and sending in the play call where Tyson threw the touchdown pass. They went for it later in the game. There's just so much about the way Ben's going about his business, more so than just the playing of the games, that I think is super exciting. At least it is for me. The way he communicates, his command period. Now, Ben, the Bears need to play on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. I don't care how many reps or whatever you're going to concoct in all this stuff in practice Monday. They need to play in a game Sunday night, and they need to play against Kansas City. That's how I would go about it. It's just your quarterback wants to play. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't want to see anyone in harm's way. But this team is not good enough just to be stepping away from opportunities like this in my mind.
And I'm just wondering how it's going to handle it because they still have this joint practice Friday. They don't have a joint practice for the Chiefs game. So to me, it would make a lot of sense to what I would do is, okay, instead of, I'm kind of thinking about this on the fly, joint practice Friday against the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of this 87 play workout at 8:00 in the morning. Now it's a night game next week, but give me 15 reps, keep it under the 20 so that you could still come back and run your 3:00 practice. It's on the books right now. It's on the schedule for next Monday. So you could still get those reps. And so you're subbing out the 87 play workout on air for actual game reps. I'm in. I'm ready. But I'd also like to see the reps on Monday then again, as much as we don't love an off day. So that's what I would do. And then I'd have them come back Friday at Arrowhead against the Chiefs and maybe play the whole first half.
Yeah. Yeah. The Friday game against the Chiefs is on August the 22nd. The home opener, correct me if I'm wrong here, Hoge, September 10th?
September 8th. The fact you don't have that memorized is concerning.
It's pathetic. We'll make that. I'm down to 50 mistakes. We'll call that a typo. September 8th. Close enough. That's pathetic. I completely agree. So September 8th. How many days are there between August 22nd and September 8th? That would be 8 plus there's 30 days in September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. So that's 9 plus 8. That's 17 days. They can play against Kansas City. That's a long ass time between the final preseason game and the home opener on a Monday night. So let's go.
I hate that layoff usually. We've talked about this in past years with them not having, because you got to remember that fourth preseason game was the week after.
Right.
So I know everyone's now saying like, oh, this third preseason game is the equivalent of the fourth. No, the third preseason game should be the third preseason game. The fourth one, you just lost it. Right. You missed all that garbage scouting time for the guys that are fringe on the roster. That's what you lost. You shouldn't have to lose what was there before for your starters. That was always the dress rehearsal game. So, yeah, that's how I would look at it. But, all right, we got a couple more clips from Declan Doyle here before we get to our next break. Remember, we were talking to him right after this. Let's not forget there was a preseason game yesterday. There was a left tackle competition that played out in that preseason game. Here's what he had to say about Braxton Jones and Ozzie Trapillo.
There's a lot of football left to be had. You know, Ben said it today in a team meeting. We're really halfway through camp at this point. And so that's starting to become clearer, but we are still very much in a battle. I'm really excited to see Buffalo come in here and our guys get work against their edge players. You know, last week with Miami, they got some guys that are really impressive, and so all of that tape is really valuable.
How did you evaluate how Braxton and Ozzie did?
I would say that both of them, there's a lot of room for improvement in both cases. You know, I think that Dan addressed that with them in their meeting. Really, it's about who's willing to make improvement on that performance and keep accelerating to see who's going to be the guy there week one.
So he said, look, I still think that battle is wide open was a direct quote that wasn't in there. And obviously room for improvement from what we saw on the tape as well. So that's kind of where things stand with the left tackle. And then this was also notable. Real quick, want to share this too, because it seems like every time someone in that building gets the opportunity to say something about Kyle Monangai, it is overtly positive.
And yes,
sorry, that's confusing by me. That was a tease to the, that was good. My
I'm
toss to the clip.
I'm not supposed to respond. That's just to the Kyle Monangai. I got it. Yeah, great.
That was on me. Declan Doyle on Kyle Monangai.
You guys watch it too. You watch a physical guy that's willing downhill. There's some shots on tape of him trying to block downfield and playing with a lot of effort. When you watch a guy like that, it's fun because you look at him and you're like, that's what we want, our organization to represent. A guy that's tough, hard-nosed. He's willing to stick his face in the fan and he's going to fight.
Yeah, he keeps those feet moving, man. He kind of reminds me like the Roadrunner. Like the feet just always churning.
I mean, I think everybody saw the brilliance that is Kyle Monangai yesterday and are excited about the fact, this guy puts his foot in the ground, makes his cut, puts his head down, he's falling forward and showing me a little shake. Okay, Ryan Poles, you didn't go get that Travion Henderson who is bursting through the NFL, bursting onto the NFL, taking kickoffs and the whole thing. Didn't want to pay the freight of whatever that would take to move up. But hey, this maybe Monangai will be a huge diamond in the rough, and he looked great yesterday, no doubt about it.
All right, when we come back, Mike Sando's annual quarterback tiers came out. We'll tell you where Caleb Williams was ranked. We'll tell you what one NFL general manager, 2 head coaches, and 2 defensive coordinators had to say about Caleb Williams in that quarterback tiers piece. That's all coming up next. But first, hey, you should know this by now. We are headed to Las Vegas with True Fan Travel. We want you to come with us because we're taking over the Strip for an epic weekend in Vegas. You're invited. Join us for the trip. It's all happening September 26th through the 29th. 3-night stay. It was at Mandalay Bay, but you jumped on this too early. Too many people. This is too big of a trip. We ran out of rooms at Mandalay Bay, which is great that Luxor is right next door. So now we got a block of rooms at Luxor, but they're going fast. So make sure you sign up. It's 3 nights. We're going to have an all-inclusive tailgate, a pep rally the night before the game. You're getting game tickets that are guaranteed. They're hard to get for this game. You also could upgrade to the lower level if you'd like. Meet and greet with Lance Briggs. He's coming with us too. You get a custom t-shirt for the trip as well. It's going to be a great time. 3 nights in Vegas and a guaranteed Bears victory. Don't gamble on missing the ultimate fan experience. Book your spot now at truefantravel.com.
Hey, if you're looking for a deal and you're looking for a car, you want to check out our friends at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. They're slashing prices on new cars, and they're giving you big savings all month long. Coming today to shop the new car clearance event. You can check out their selection of 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. And they are one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventory. So you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. One of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest. They're able to keep their prices competitive. Plus, they got the rate price promise. You know that the price you see is the price you are going to pay. Visit our partner at their convenient location right on Route 12 in Fox Lake. You can also take the Metro right there. Take the train out, buy a car, go home. It's a beautiful way to do it. Don't miss out on their new car clearance event going all month long. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com.
All right. By the way, Carm.
Uh-oh. I feel nervous the way you're approaching this already.
No, you don't have to feel nervous. I'm just now I lost the tweet. I want to give the right shout out. So at B Young, SMA1 on Twitter.
Okay.
The first person I have seen to acquire, to have it delivered, the new Hoge and John's Brandon Bills hat.
Oh.
it looks, because I haven't seen these yet in person. This is the first time I'm seeing it, even a photo of them. Looks fantastic. So hopefully people jumped in there and got those with the introductory Hoge and Johns diehard offer, because they're outstanding. And the shirts are still available. If you still haven't signed up, you want to pick out your free shirt.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I mean, the brick by brick shirts, those were sweet at one point, but the Hoge and Johns, the effort, the behind the scenes, the domination from everybody who contributed. I have no idea who did what, but that was an amazing accomplishment, because those things are sweet. And I can't wait for that same effort to be put into my Team Carm shirts, or my Carm's my guy, or I'm a Carm, or whatever it's going to be. I've been working deeply on this. Just for some reason, nobody has called me from upper management to figure out what the Carm shirt's going to look like. But I at some point, I think we're going to get there, because I know people are dying for it. Right, Winterman?
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Thank you for stalling there so I could look this up. Yes, I did want to. So you can still buy the hat. It is in the ALLCITY store. So go to store.allcitynetwork.com, the Hoge and Johns collection. It's just the offer for you to get it included with your diehard offer. That expired. You could still do that with the shirt. $36 for the first year diehard. But if you're already a diehard, you want to go get the hat and get 20% off, it is available. I just checked in the store.
Yeah. Shout out to Adam Johns, doing a phenomenal job, and big move by Johnsy today. He switched his longtime seat at Hallis Hall to be right behind me and Hoge. I'm assuming this is public. We can talk about this, because why not? This is a big move by Johnsy. He's been there. He's been absolutely comfortable. He's been dominating. He's been doing it, but he's making the move to sit next to the two of us. I know that's probably easy for him when it comes to you, but now being close to me, I mean, he left his comfort zone, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, I give it a week. He's gonna regret it. Not just you, but me and you together.
Well, yeah, so that whole scene over there can get a little dicey. It's a little, he had a good corner. He was next to the fish man. Courtney Cronin was right over there. It was kind of peaceful over there. Now you're kind of you're slumming, and he noticed too that there's no garbage can over here. Like this is the tough part of the neighborhood over here, but we'll see how long he lasts.
Yeah, we are really slumming it over there. We have to stand up to go walk 10 feet to the garbage can, unlike that man who for the last 10 years has just been able to reach over.
Yeah,
slam dunk.
Well, but again, now he's facing a different direction. He's got TV people looking at him. That could be distracting. A lot going on over there. But I liked what I saw today from Johnsy. He was dialed in. I don't know what he was doing, but he was doing something all day long over there.
He's got a big story coming out tomorrow. We'll tease that for the diehards. So another reason to become a diehard. It's a really good story. You're gonna want to read it. So we had to go outside in the heat and cover practice while he worked on his amazing story. It's coming out tomorrow. All right. What came out today at the place Johnsy used to work, The Athletic, Mike Sando's annual quarterback tiers. To give you an idea how this works, this is a big project he works on every year. I got a lot of respect for what he does. I think he starts it at the combine and works on it for a long time here and there until it's all ready to go right for the season. It's all the quarterbacks ranked from 1 to 32. And these are, the panel is, let's see, I want to make sure I get this right. 50 NFL coaches and executives that vote in this. So this isn't Mike Sando's rankings. This isn't a bunch of media members. There are people in the league, coaches that have played against these quarterbacks, executives that scouted them. Now, that does not mean you're off the hook for some biases, of course.
No, but just let's read this through. There's 50 voters. The panel, 6 general managers, 6 assistant GMs, 6 former GMs, 5 other executives, 8 head coaches, and 19 other coaches, including 15 coordinators. I mean, so it's basically the who's who of the NFL is who's doing this evaluation.
It is. So here's the results and the guy you guys want to hear about. Caleb Williams came in at number 23. He is a tier 3 quarterback. Tier 3 quarterbacks. That means he's a legitimate starter, but needs a heavier running game and or defensive component to win. A lower volume drop back passing offense suits him best. Now, I think it's important to point out this is where he's viewed now. I think there's still optimism he can rise up in the tier 2. In fact, one of these quotes we're about to read you, I think, as the guy says, he's tier 1 talent still. So it's just where he is now. There are a number of quarterbacks in tier 3, starting with Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Geno Smith, Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, Drake May, and then Caleb Williams at 23. If you want to start yelling through your computer, through your television screen at us about how Caleb Williams should be ahead of Drake May, ahead of Sam Darnold, ahead of Trevor Lawrence, ahead of Tua, maybe I'll listen to. I mean, I think there's some legitimate arguments in there. At the same time, objectively, Sam Darnold was a better quarterback than Caleb Williams was last year. Who would I rather have right now on my team? 100% Caleb Williams. There's no doubt about it. But I'm just kind of preparing you to think about this in terms of how it's voted on every year and how it changes. Guys move up, they move down. That's how it works. But that's where Caleb Williams is. Do I agree he's the 23rd best quarterback in the league right now? I don't know. I don't think I do. But I kind of understand why he ended up here based on the panel that's voting.
So, in the way they wrote it here too, another defensive coordinator who was quoted on this. This is on Caleb. Quote, he's very talented. Ben is more under center. Caleb is more of a gun quarterback. That dynamic is going to be interesting to me. I would not be shocked if the kid plays well. Ben is good. He can adjust. I'm sure they will find a happy medium somewhere. I thought that was interesting that there's just wondering how this whole pairing is going to go. And let's be honest, we all think it's going to work, but he is being asked to do a lot of things that he hasn't ever done. And it was interesting to hear Keenum talk yesterday about how, listen, Ben is not, I think the word he said was not quarterback friendly as far as like he puts a lot on you. There's, he's asking his QBs to handle a ton. So there is a high degree of difficulty here. And I guess we get some, so it's just, I thought that was an interesting underline of one GM wondering how this is going to go between the two.
All right. Well, that was the defensive coordinator. We have all the quotes that were shared in here. Katie, you can go in any order you want. I'll read them as they pop up on the screen. But this was the feedback that Mike Sando actually got. Now these are all anonymous to get, the real opinions or whatever. It is what it is, but take it for what it's worth. This is an NFL general manager, current NFL general manager saying, I think that will come in time. That's him talking about Caleb's ability to process and play quickly after taking 68 sacks. So this GM saying, I think that'll come in time. Maybe it is a little bit like Josh Allen early in his career, where he has so much other good stuff that you will live with some negative plays. And as he gets more snaps under his belt, that part will come. I was thinking about that quote. Granted, I read it earlier in the day, but I'm out there on the practice field today. I'm looking at some of the struggles, and I'm trying to process and acknowledge my own doubts right now that the processing isn't where it needs to be. The pre-snap stuff's still not where it needs to be. The accuracy's still not where it needs to be. And I'm also looking at the raw talent of Caleb Williams, and I'm going with the coaching of Ben Johnson, the weapons he has, and the raw talent that Caleb has. Is there a world in which he still becomes the first 4,000-yard passer this year, along with some of those realities that's in that GM quote at the same time? He's still not going to be as fast as he needs to be. There's going to be penalties. There's going to be inaccuracies, and yet he could still pile up big numbers. Not unlike Trevor Lawrence has done in Jacksonville. I think it's very much on the table for this season.
I agree 100%. I mean, it was the range and where things can go for the Bears this year just seems pretty damn wide. And that, of course, to me is just tied to Caleb. But I in that first quote that you guys, put together with the graphic, Josh Allen, his rookie year, he started 11 games. He threw for 2,074 yards, which is roughly 1,500 less than what Caleb threw for. His second year, he threw for 3,089. Now, so he made a major jump in his second year. He went from 10 touchdowns to 20. His interceptions went down from 12 to 9. But his explosion happened in year 3, 4,500. Year 4, 4,400. Year 3, year 5, 4,300. Year 6, 4,300. So it took him a second. And I don't think there's a Bears fan out there, myself included, who wouldn't sign up for a Josh Allen trajectory for Caleb Williams. That would be sweet. And I remember, our guy Matt Verderam, who's been on this program a million times, who knows football incredibly well. He wrote a piece before Allen came into the NFL. Josh Allen is an inaccurate whatever. He's going to be a bust. That was the prediction. So, and people get these things wrong all the time. Most people thought that Caleb, was going to be great instantly, but to that quote, that gets, hey, give me a Josh Allen trajectory. That'd be sweet.
All right, next quote that was given to Mike Sando that we could throw up here. This is from an NFL head coach saying he is definitely a one talent, as in tier 1 talent. I just think it's going to take him longer than Jaden Daniels. He is not playing fast right now. There's something there. His processing to me was alarming watching the tape. I know people want to be... It's easy to get sensitive with this stuff. I want to say it's a completely fair quote right there. He's acknowledging still possibility of tier 1. You want to know who's in tier 1?
Patrick Mahomes,
Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, finally in tier 1. And then Matthew Stafford. I love Matthew Stafford. I was shocked to see he ended up in tier 1, though. I don't know why it took Lamar Jackson as long. And I also, if you want to sit there and scream at the credibility of this thing, who are the 3 people that put Josh Allen in tier 2?
That's ridiculous.
Who are those 3 voters, and can they have their votes revoked next year? I will text Mike Sando myself and see if we can get that done. Because that's questionable. But look, it taking him longer than Jaden Daniels also, well, first of all, it's what's actually happening. But 2, I think that's fair. Jaden Daniels played more in college.
Yeah.
That's part of this too. And he was in a much better situation rookie year. I've said this a million times. I'm going to continue to say it. It would not shock me if when this year is over, that Caleb Williams actually ends up having a better year. Right now it's like this, and it wouldn't shock me if it's more like this when the year's over.
Yeah. The Jaden Daniels thing is where I start to get annoyed because the Bears just repeated the same mistake that they did going back to Mitch Trubisky. And for whatever reason, they did not take the time to sit down with Jaden. I don't know if they thought he was too thin or didn't like his play style or whatever it was, but they were hell-bent on Caleb, and they didn't really do a fair evaluation with Jaden. And look, when you read the piece by Sando, he underlines it. No second-year quarterback has made a higher tiers debut than Daniels, 1.71 average, 17 top-tier votes, breaking the record of C.J. Stroud last year. And that's when my head started to spin off because we could have drafted C.J. Stroud, didn't do that. Could have drafted Jaden Daniels, didn't do that. Could have kept Justin, didn't do that. And hopefully Caleb's going to hit. But it's like, oh my God, we have to acknowledge that Jaden Daniels is off to an incredible start to his career. And you're right. And I think that, the concerns are obviously legit this is his frame is thin. Those guys are not built to last in the NFL, but he's also, to what you just said about he's played more football, and it shows. The Washington Commanders were not a good football team last year. He led them into the playoffs and then deep into the playoffs. So you got to give his guy his due, but
without a doubt.
But it's but to your point, too, long game, man, long career. Can he catch him? Sure, he can. Will he? Who knows?
All right, next quote that we'll share with you from the quarterback tiers is this one from an NFL defensive coordinator. He's got the talent to go up, But in terms of processing ability and getting the ball out of his hands, it was the worst we played against. So this was a defense coordinator that faced the Bears last year. Said he just holds the ball forever. I'm thinking the ball should go right there. Throw it. And he did not throw it.
He did not.
Yeah. That look, I don't, and maybe I need to adjust my own lens on this one because I've said it multiple times. That was what ultimately got Justin Fields out of town. I don't think it's nearly as bad as Justin Fields' inability, but that was also 3 years of data, right? So it wasn't. So if we're at year 3, which we're not, we're at year 2 with Caleb, and this is still a problem, that's when you're like, oh, this is a real problem. And this is what they're trying to get out of Caleb right now. Can he speed this up? And it's a process. It's not going to get figured out here in August. It's not going to get figured out here in September. But the hope, not to be redundant here, is that it's like that Josh Allen trajectory where at least by next year, early next year, because that's kind of where you're going to start drawing the line. That gets that quote right there was alarming to me because it's a defensive coordinator who's scheming against this guy. Literally did it last year, and he was that critical. Yeah, that's
great. Here's the thing with the processing too, because when we get to go to practice, and I don't want to get caught up in people's getting upset about the Caleb talk, but it's like just a reminder: no one on this program wants Caleb Williams to be anything but great. It is way better for us at CHGO Bears or anyone in the Bears community for the Bears to win lots of football games. That's good for interest. That's good for the show. We are rooting for Caleb. However, when it comes down to the processing stuff, we've seen it in practice. We saw it today. He's padding it. He's not. This is 7-on-7. There's no one in his face. Montez Sweat's not rushing you. He's just dancing around out there, just hanging out basically. And he's not sure where he's going with it. So if you see it there, what do you think is going to happen on Sunday? Well, what's going to happen on Sunday is he's going to get sacked 68 times, and the third most ever. So you could see it. You could see it coming. And right now, it's better, but it's not where it needs to be.
Yeah. So 2 quotes on the processing. We got 2 more quotes here to go.
And to everybody also real quick, I'm sorry, everybody's saying like he was in a bad situation. He was in a horrible situation last year, 100%.
Yeah, we know that. Without a doubt. All right, next one. This is from an NFL coach. I was actually a little unclear if this was a head coach or just another coach, but it says, you saw signs and ability, and I also think you saw signs and ability that scare you. Nervousness in the pocket, inability to see and play on time. But I do not know yet if that was him or coaching. Parts of me wondered if you could get it done with this guy, but it's good enough to make you think you have a chance, which brings us to the next one. Let's just throw the last one up there too, because it has to do with Ben Johnson. This was an NFL defensive coordinator adding, quote, he's very talented. Ben is more under center. Caleb is more of a gun quarterback. That dynamic is going to be interesting to me. I would not be shocked if the kid plays well. Ben is good. He can adjust. I'm sure they will find a happy medium somewhere. And Karma, I think that is in the short term. So a lot of this is more like long term. Can you get to year 3? Can you figure this out with another developmental year? But in the short term, one of the more fascinating things, I agree with whoever that defensive coordinator is, in September, I cannot wait to see how much Ben sticks with the under center stuff, how much Caleb comes along with it, or how much Ben Johnson has to adjust to win football games and go to more shotgun. That shotgun to under center percentage or ratio is going to be fascinating to track throughout the season. And it wouldn't surprise me if it fluctuates here and there based on what Caleb can do, because I've brought this up many times in the offseason. I agree with that defensive coordinator. It sort of, in a way, goes against what Ben Johnson said when he took this job, where he's like, I'm not bringing over the Lions offense. I'm going to play to my players' strengths and all that. However, you also have this idea, if you're Ben Johnson, that for my offense to be successful, I need this guy to develop more as an under center quarterback. And that's fair. You shouldn't shy away from it. If you think you can develop him, and it doesn't have to be overnight, the same way you did with Jared Goff, who played at Cal, who was a shotgun guy, and eventually over his years, and part of the reason why his career has resurged here is because of the under center stuff. If you can do that over time with Caleb, I think it's going to be a win-win for everybody involved. But we're also scarred here in Chicago because we've seen too many coaches stuck in their ways that won't adjust and pigeonhole these guys into something that they're not. And so that's going to be up to Ben Johnson's coaching staff to balance that. If Caleb doesn't come along and it doesn't click fast, how is that balance going to be? It's going to be fascinating to play out this season.
100%. And look, let's just remind ourselves, Ben Johnson got on his interview with the Bears and he said through the screen that stood out to Ryan Poles and company, I want this job. I want to be here. He knew exactly who he was getting as his quarterback. So he obviously believes that he can coach him up. Now, maybe that changes over time and they've got to pivot. He wasn't here when they drafted him, and Ben's got more cachet with the organization right now than Caleb, which is kind of amazing to say, but he does. Because look, you paid $13 million for him, and this is the bet. The Bears are even more so, I would say, pot committed with Ben than they are with the quarterback. But look, to me, it's a big question of how important is it to Ben that every year is sacred, right? Every game is sacred. We're going to do whatever we can to win versus develop the quarterback. And if they're going to try to win, then I would think they're going to be, we talked about this, they're going to run the ball a lot, and they're going to have to, cater the offense, what you're talking about, for him. Or are they going to, we want to win, but we're ultimately, we want to get to the point where we can win the Super Bowl as quick as possible. And I think to get there, we might have to take some more bumps along the road. And I'm not going to prioritize the squeezing into the playoffs this year versus my long-term goal, which is to make us a consistent winner. I mean, these conversations have to be going on. And obviously maybe that, ideally they can do both, but that's why they get paid the big bucks, Hoge, to the point of, what DJ said today. That's why I get paid the big bucks. I'll be a running back too. This is why Ben gets paid the big bucks, brother. You got a big task on your hand, how you're going to go about this.
All right, coming up in a few minutes here, we have Bears After Dark. So we are going to get off here right at an hour so we can get into Bears After Dark. Greg Bragg's hosting that program right here on CHGO. So we'll take you right into it. But we do have some supers here before we get out. Katie, we could throw those up on whatever order you want. Noah Kleberg, $5, says, happy birthday, Carm. Appreciate the shout out at the Circa event the other day. Awesome to finally meet you guys. Look forward to the next one. Bear down. Yeah, it was awesome meeting Noah.
Noah's the man. Noah came out. Noah, we appreciate you back, and thank you for the birthday wishes, brother. Hope to see you again soon at wherever we're doing something. Thank you.
And Nico Esposito, $2, says, daily listener, new diehard. Where's my Carm shout out?
Nico, you know what I like about you and your diehardness? You're a protector, man. You're the guy that is between the pipes, and you're not going to let anything go through. Not for your family, not for your friends, not for your coworkers. Nico, you're a guy that just you don't toe the line. You are the line, and that's why we're happy to have you as a diehard. Shout out to you, Nico Esposito. You're the man.
And Sang Ray, $5. Good thing Greg's not here. Although I'm sure you'll have a super on his show coming up next. Sang Ray says, best of the preseason game, Tyson. Worst of the preseason game, Tyson left early. Stay strong, Carm. We'll be right someday. Hashtag Team Carm. Hashtag TB17QB1.
We're not even trying to be right, Sang Ray. I appreciate it. Listen, Tyson, I thought it had a up and down day yesterday and a great day yesterday, all at the same time, baby. And we'll see what he does in game 2.
5 more from Sang Ray, says, exactly what I've been saying. Too slow processing. We saw this with Justin. This is not fixable. Move on, put Tyson, and maximize Ben. Hashtag Team Carm. Hashtag TB17QB1. He's just going to keep dragging you into it, Carm.
That's fine. Hey, listen, Sang Ray, we all know this isn't happening, but yes, I will be interested to see how Tyson does if he ever gets a chance to play here or anywhere.
Yep.
I am
wrapping with these very positive super chats. Arctic now $5. Here is how I know that Poles is trash. The Bears gave him an extension. Poles has done nothing any other GM couldn't have. Pros versus cons equal all cons. That's right. They're
Okay.
all cons. He's never done anything good.
You know, this fan base, I just got to tell you guys, you guys are the best. If you go up too high up, you got to go straight down. If you go too far down, you got to come up. The middle zone is about as the most challenging thing to find. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. We'll continue to we get an off day tomorrow, Hogue. We'll see you back on Wednesday.
Yeah, we are off tomorrow. Bears are off tomorrow. Back on Wednesday with another practice recap. It's an open practice. We'll be there. Thanks to Katie Duffy for producing with us since Friday. She's been awesome. Bears After Dark is coming up right now. So if you're watching on YouTube, click on over to that link. If you're watching on one of our many fast channels, it should pop right up for you. So we thank you for watching, listening. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Go watch Bears After Dark. Talk to you later.
We all silly like the mayor.